Hey everybody, welcome back to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. I'm Jonathan, your host, and here at RedBeard Outdoors, I talk about faith, family, fitness, and the outdoors. Today, being Tuesday, is your Tinkering Tuesday edition of the podcast, and I'm going to be bringing to you my first impressions of an item that I've been wanting to get in my hands for a little while, and I've had them for a little bit. I just haven't had or made the opportunity to go through the paces of actually the process of cutting them out, making them fit properly, and then getting them to where I can actually test them for you. So this is going to be a first impressions review of Sheep Feet and the orthotic that so many people have been chatting about. There's so many great options when it comes to orthotics out there, and Sheep Feet just seem to stand above the rest. I went through their location here in Utah because they're just right here locally. Very close to me, and I'm really excited to talk to you about that. But before we get into that, guys, just a reminder, if you get something out of this podcast, whether it be here on YouTube, subscribe, like the video, that helps a ton. Thank you so much for the growth in the channel so far, and I look forward to bringing you more as we continue this journey. Also, if you're listening to this on the podcast, follow the podcast so you can get updated anytime there's a new podcast episode out, and leave a review. We've had some amazing reviews so far, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys would leave a review if you got something out of the podcast, and share it with others. You can either share this video or share the podcast episode, tag me in it, and Instagram. I really appreciate that, and thank you so much. So with that being said, today being Tinkering Tuesday, Saturdays we get to have amazing conversations with people that I just share with you, as I have people on that I love to learn from, people that have inspired me or simply have learned from them. There's also people out there that are my friends that I've known for a while, that I've had on the podcast, that again, I keep them in my circle because, guys, honestly, they lift me up. They're great individuals in what they do. So look forward to that as well. Now let's get started here with Sheep Feet. Guys, what you'll see, I don't have the box here. So the whole process is, and I was lucky enough that I was able to go down to their location because, again, they're only 40-ish minutes away from me. And they're such an amazing crew, such hardworking individuals. And they just saw a niche in, it starts from the ground up when you're out there hiking so much, hunting, carrying heavy loads out on your back. You definitely want to make sure that your feet are taken care of, that you're not getting foot exhaustion, and that's causing you to either end your hunt early or just not enjoy it as much as you possibly could. So with that being said, guys, you get a box. So you go online to Sheep Feet and you get a box shipped to you. They give you detailed instructions on how to put your foot in the mold, get your foot placed there, pressed down by someone else. They go through all the instructions there. Make sure you follow them meticulously so it'll fit the best for you. Once you do that, you ship the box back to them. And I do want to mention, guys, here at the beginning, I might get this term wrong. I think it's an HSA card. Whatever it is that your health savings account card, you can use that for Sheep Feet. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you're needing to use some of your HSA funds that you put away for a good reason, here you go. Go get your Sheep Feet. They'll definitely help you out with that. And that's an awesome opportunity for you to be able to save on your hunt budget, some money that you've put away for medical expenses, and hopefully you've been as healthy as possible, and you have some money saved up in there in your HSA. Go pick up some Sheep Feet. If not, budget for them. I'm assuming I'm really going to enjoy them, but we'll see. I'm going to put them through the paces. I've only heard good things about them. So guys, here's what happens. You send the box in. Going back to the process, you send the box back to them. They make a mold out of your foot that you've sent back to them. So that's why it is super important to follow their instructions on how to make sure your foot is pressed into the mold. And then you send it back to them. You can choose between regular or deluxe foam. The deluxe foam is, I want to say it's double the padding, but it's extra padding in the foam portion. And you can get the regular one as well. Also, there's a couple of other distinctions that you'll notice. And this is just, again, when they send it back to you, this is what it looks like. It gives you instructions on how to break it down. And we're going to go through and do that now. But before that, I just want to kind of talk a little bit about the different options that they provide, because there are there's multiple different configurations. So I spoke with Caleb, and he was obviously very knowledgeable in this field. He's the one that started it and is loving every moment of his job. And so there's two different heel options that you guys will see here. I can get this captured here on camera. Okay. So the one heel, and I'll point to him as I talk about him. So this heel has a squared off look to it. And then this one does not. That's rounded. This one right here is what you'll find in most shoes, boots, etc. When you get them from the store, it'll be rounded off like that to kind of cup there at the back. The reason why you would want this heel in your boot, is to be able to stabilize you even more in the field. So I'm going to test that out and see how that goes. I'm really interested in seeing how that affects carrying weight, hiking, etc. So the ones that I have heels with, are going to go in my boots, so that my heel's not rolling around in the back of the boot. Not that it happens a ton, but that will add to the stability of your heel and your boot. And then this one, I will be putting in my everyday shoes, my gym shoes, my running shoes, etc., so that I can have a little bit more mobility in the times when I want the more mobility. Okay. So with that being said, guys, I've got 3 of my, I guess you'd call them inserts, that come factory from the store. And you notice how different, there's 3 of them. They're all the same size, but they're different lengths, which is weird to me. Some of them stick out a little bit more this way. It's very interesting to me to see the different foot beds on different shoes. And some shoes, honestly, they fit me better than others. So this will be interesting. But what you want to do, if you're swapping this between different shoes, is you want to find the bigger foot, or I guess the bigger footprint, and trace. So this is a right foot. And I'll trace around the biggest of my insoles that come from the factory. So that's what I'm planning on doing, is just taking that and tracing the biggest one, so that I can swap them between shoes, and it will definitely fit the biggest one. It might be a little snug on the smaller ones, but that's fine. So I'm going to do that now. And this is the one without the heel. Okay. All right, guys. You can see I've drawn a black line across there. And then I'm going to take the one from my boot and do the same thing. All right. Got a good chunk that you can cut off there. They give you a little bit extra foam so you can make sure you've got the right size here. So we're just following these steps here, guys. So 1, remove it. 2, trace it. 3, cut it out. And then 4, insert it and test it. So grab my scissors here. While I'm cutting this out, let's talk a little bit about why it is so important to make sure you're taking care of your feet. Because I know we've all been either on long hikes, hunts, etc., where you just get a little fatigued, and it generally starts in your feet. Sometimes you get a boot that's maybe a little too stiff for you. Sometimes you get a little boot, maybe a boot that isn't supporting you properly. I originally had gone to a foot doctor and got some custom insoles made, and they worked good, but I wanted to try these out because they seem to be honestly a little bit better quality than what the doctor was giving me. Okay, so I've cut it out here. These are my trusty Laponia 2s. Don't judge. They're dirty and used. I need to clean them up probably. But I get this inserted in here. I might need to make it a little bit more narrow. I don't believe so. Perfect. And there we go. Got it in there. Okay. We're rocking and rolling, guys. So that is as easy as it gets, guys, for the sheep feet. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the quality that I'm noticing just pulling them out of the package, and what I'm seeing here, you know, as far as the density of the foam. I know I've got another set here. Let's see which ones are more dense. Okay. All right, yeah. So on my boots ones, I went with a little bit more dense foam. And you can see that here. See if it'll focus. Where it needs to focus. Okay, maybe not. All right. On that top one, guys, you can see the yellow layer is just a little bit thinner than the bottom one. That's the foam, and also the top layer as well. Just a little bit thinner, okay? The reason I did that was because of my everyday shoes. I didn't want necessarily the thickest sole, whereas on my boots, I wanted something a little bit more comfy to be able to hike around the mountains in. So that's really why I did that. But you can choose. Those are the different options, guys. And I probably should have going back to when you select what you're wanting out of your sheep feet. You select the heel type. You know, do you want that boxed off? Which again, Caleb, the owner, the guy that started it all, highly recommends that you get the heel stabilizer in your boots. If you're going to go with two separate types of sheep feet, you know, one for your boots or, you know, whatever, hiking, and then other ones for more active wear. He highly recommends the rounded off sole for your regular day-to-day running shoe, workout shoe, etc., and the stabilizing heel for your boots, for your hiking boots, hunting boots, etc. This is coming from the owner of Sheep Feet himself. So he knows what he's doing. Obviously, he started the company. I'd recommend following those instructions and seeing what they do, you know, along those lines. I'm gonna test them out. Come back to you guys here in a couple weeks and talk to you about my experience with them. And then the other thing that you select is either the deluxe or the thin, like I did the thinner here for my day-to-day shoes. That's again, his recommendation is if you go with the deluxe, you can always trim it down if you don't like how thick that is, or if it's too thick. With the thin ones, you know, he'd recommend that for the day-to-day, shoe wear. So that's what I'm going to go with, guys. Again, my first impressions are super high quality. This stiff part right here doesn't bend, which is not supposed to. It's supposed to give you all that support there. And that cushion, guys, I'm telling you, it's like a memory foam mattress. It feels really nice. So I'm excited to get these in my shoes, try them out for a couple weeks, and then get back to you guys on them. Just a couple of other pointers, guys, with Sheep Feet. They are just down-to-earth individuals. They're working their tails off, and I loved going into the factory there and seeing how many people they've worked on their shoes already, and how many people they have, lined up and that they're trying to help. So if you're wanting to order your sheep feet, if you already have made up your mind like me, and you're going to just go ahead and order them, I'd recommend going ahead and getting your order in as soon as possible. We are looking to just make sure that you get them in your hands and used, and you want to test your gear before you get up on the mountains. You don't want to just, you can, but you don't want to buy a new set of sheep feet, them get to you a week before you go on your hunt, you never use them, and then maybe your feet just don't like insoles. It's possible. Don't do that. Get working on your gear list now, if not a month ago or 2 months ago. Definitely check out Sheep Feet, guys. If you've already made up your mind, go ahead and get your orders in. If you haven't, look forward to, in a couple weeks, my follow-up review on this. I'm going to do it with some weighted hikes. I'm going to do it in my running shoes, workout shoes, day-to-day shoes, and give you guys some feedback on what I think about these insoles, why you should get some custom insoles for your feet as well to keep them stabilized. You want to keep that support there. If you have high arches like I do, you want to keep that support so they don't start collapsing on you and causing you that pain when you're up in the mountains. Last thing, guys, they've come out with their own laces, which is freaking awesome. And so these laces, guys, they are stretch-free, fire-resistant, non-slip, and there was some weird data on here. I say weird. Oh, let's see. It's a I'm going to butcher this name. Para-aramid fiber replacement lace that's 10 times stronger than steel. Amazing 1,000-pound breaking strength. That's crazy. So it takes up to 1,000 pounds to break these. So I'm going to be putting these on my boots. They need to make them in orange. I'm going to reach out to them and tell them they should make them in orange. I know Sheep Feet is all about yellow and black, but they should make them in orange and black. All right, guys. With that being said, there's the liftoff review, the first impressions review. I'm really impressed by the quality, high quality foam, very durable feeling heel, very stiff. I'm going to be rocking these at TAC and doing a bunch of other events as well, and then getting back to you guys with my results. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Check out the links down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube, and if you're listening to this on the podcast, definitely make sure you follow the podcast, leave a review, and share it on Instagram, Facebook, wherever, and tag me in it. I really appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. And of course, get out, live your life, and love it.